In 1940, Adolf Hitler called his U-boats the wolves of the Atlantic, sleek, deadly submarines that would starve Britain into submission by sinking her merchant convoys. Early in the war, they nearly succeeded. Convoys burned in the night, tankers exploded, and U-boat commanders became national heroes. But by 1943, the hunters had become the hunted. German U-boat crews faced death rates so horrific they became the most endangered branch of any military in World War II. Let's look at the brutal mathematics of extinction. At the start, U-boats seemed unstoppable. Operating in wolf packs, they sank 2,700 ships, totaling 14 million tons. Britain nearly ran out of fuel and food. German propaganda called it the tonnage war, a fight to sink more than Britain could build. Early on, the math favored Germany. For every U-boat lost, dozens of merchant ships went down. But technology and industry soon reversed the balance. The Allies cracked Enigma, reading German radio traffic. They introduced radar small enough to fit on aircraft. Convoys gained escorts armed with sonar, depth charges, and Hedgehog mortars. By 1943, hunting U-boats became systematic. A submarine that surfaced at night could be spotted by radar-equipped patrol planes. By day, they were bombed from the air. Submerged, they crawled at a few knots, blind and deaf, while escorts rained explosives above. Here's the shocking arithmetic. Of the 40,000 men who served on U-boats, 30,000 never returned. That's a casualty rate of 75%, higher than German infantry on the Eastern Front, higher than Japanese kamikazes. 3 out of 4 U-boat crewmen drowned, suffocated, or burned alive. Service in the U-boat Waffe was effectively a death sentence. Life aboard was misery. Crews lived in steel tubes 220 feet long, 20 feet wide, crammed with 50 men. Air reeked of diesel, sweat, and mold. Fresh food lasted 1 week. After that, meals were canned or rotten. Men slept in shifts, hot bunking in 3 tiers, the sheets damp with the last man's sweat. Silence was mandatory when submerged. Every sound could bring depth charges raining down. And those depth charges came often. Allied escorts dropped more than 500,000 during the war. Explosions cracked hulls, smashed light bulbs, and ruptured eardrums. Survivors described the terror: bolts rattling loose, gauges shattering, water spraying through seams. Many U-boats never resurfaced, entombed with their crews at the bottom of the Atlantic. One veteran said, "It was like being buried alive, waiting for the coffin lid to cave in." The industrial imbalance was decisive. Germany built 162 U-boats. The Allies built 5,000 escort vessels and 22,000 aircraft dedicated to anti-submarine warfare. America's Liberty ships rolled off assembly lines faster than U-boats could sink them, one every 42 days. German commanders admitted the tonnage war was lost by 1943. Even the U-boat's greatest innovation, the snorkel, came too late. It allowed them to run diesel engines while submerged, but by then Allied radar and air patrols made the seas impassable. The once feared wolf packs became prey. The psychological toll was unbearable. U-boat crews knew the odds. Letters home often read like farewells. Sailors wrote of nightmares of never seeing sunlight, of comrades vanishing without a trace. By late war, many new recruits were teenagers rushed through training. They boarded submarines already doomed. One officer admitted, "We sent boys to die in steel coffins." The final irony: U-boats killed 30,000 Allied sailors, but lost the same number of their own men. The hunter and the hunted shared the same grave, the Atlantic Ocean. When the war ended, Admiral Karl Dönitz ordered remaining crews to surrender. Many refused, scuttling their submarines instead of handing them over. But the ocean already held their story. More than 700 U-boats lay on the seabed, silent tombs for the men inside. Hollywood often shows submarines as thrilling duels of stealth and courage. The truth was slower, darker, and far more tragic. For German U-boat crews, World War II was not a hunt. It was extinction.